Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. After a pair of playthroughs of Final Girl for Valentine's Day, aka Singles Awareness Day, we're continuing with the Tac Up Wargaming List this week. Today we're playing Metal Dawn from Everything Epic Games. In this game, we're taking on Dominus, a military AI that has gone sentient and wants to exterminate humanity, and we have to stop it by playing a team of agents. We stop Dominus by first hacking it and forcing it down to Earth for a final showdown, and then we attack it once it comes down. So we'll go through how we'll be doing that as the game progresses, but let's go meet our team for today. Each player in this game will play a pair of agents, so the agent count might get a little bit confusing, but our first team in red is going to consist of Svetlana, who's got 6 health. That's her standee. I'll move her over to the first location in a minute. Her special ability is Marksman. All of your weapon cards gain +1 damage. I'm going to put damage on as you suffer damage from effects in the game. Then pairing with her in red is Raven, who's got 5 health. Her special ability is Cryptology. When you draw intel cards, draw 1 additional card. Choose 1 to discard and keep the rest. So I'll describe how you use intel cards once we move over to the board. But their starting division, which gives them a once per game ability, Svetlana and Raven are part of the medical team. Flip this card face down when an agent would die to restore that agent's health to full instead. That's actually a pretty good once per effect, but we've also got 2 gear and weapon cards that we can equip them with. So first up on the weapon front, we have Machine Pistol. Range of 1, 2 damage. It's got 2 ammo, as you can see from the top of the card. Instead of resolving a normal attack action, this attack deals 1 damage to all units in the target zone. Our second weapon here, I'm not assigning that to Svetlana yet. I'm putting it down so I can flip over the other weapon. The assault rifle with 3 uses. Range of 4, damage 3 damage. The assault rifle is going to Svetlana, because that'll give us 4 damage, which we'll be able to take anything out on the board. We'll give the machine pistol to Raven. And I'll explain more about why I'm doing that once we go through the different enemies in the game, but we'll work our way over there. Our starting gear is a rucksack. Agent may hold up to a total of 2 weapon or gear cards in their hand instead of 1. And that's a typo. They've got in on there twice. I may end up giving that to Svetlana, but we'll have to see. And then the other piece of gear is another rucksack, so I guess I'm giving them both rucksacks. That was easy. Alright, so just to come back to the weapon, you can see it's got a number of uses, so as you use it, you'll rotate it so the number of uses is face up, or is right side up. Then when we use the last one, then we'll discard it. So both of them can hold 2 weapon or gear cards. With that, let's go ahead and tip down and meet our other team. Here's our other team. So our first agent on the purple team is Kay. She's a hacker. Once per turn, you may add +1 to the value of 1 of your intel cards. Once again, to table that for now, I'll explain how the intel cards are used later. And then her partner today is Morgan. She's an assassin. Once per turn, you may automatically destroy a revealed unit as you enter its zone. We'll move her over to the board as well. And then their division, they're part of Black Ops. We can flip this card face down to have each of your agents discard a mission token from anywhere on the board and gain a mission token. So if we have multiple missions out on the board, we can use that to gain missions. With that, let's go ahead and meet our replacements, and actually we'll just stay up here. So we have so for each player, we have a replacement agent in case one of our agents bites the dust. So our first replacement is Ninjace, and there's his standee in case we need him. Gadgeteer. When you draw gear cards, draw 1 additional gear card. Choose 1 to keep and discard the rest. That reminds me. We'll finish going through them, but then we've got to come back to Kay and Morgan for their starting gear and weapon cards. And our last replacement agent is Nomad. Both of these have 6 health. Martial arts. Once per turn, you may automatically destroy a soldier unit in your current zone. Kay has 5 health. Morgan has 6, in case you're not able to tell there. But let's come back and look at their starting gear, their starting weapons first. So first up, they find another assault rifle, which we gave to Svetlana earlier, and a 9mm pistol. This has got a range of 1, counted orthogonally, which, as you'll see, we're not going to have a big problem with. 2 damage. After destroying a unit, you may immediately resolve a free movement action to that unit's location. Let's give the rifle to Morgan, and we'll give the pistol to Kay. And then for gear, we have a holographic map with 4 uses on it. I can spend 1 use at the beginning of your turn to move either a unit in an adjacent zone to your zone, or a unit in your zone to an adjacent zone. And a rucksack. Agent may hold up to a total of 2 weapon or gear cards in their hand instead of 1. I think I'll give the rucksack to Morgan, since I have a feeling she's going to be drawing weapons. We'll give Kay the holographic map. Then they've also got these activation tokens, which they'll be using to potentially activate zones, but that will make more sense once we move over to the board. We actually ended up with a not completely spectacular map. So in a 2-player game, we start off with 7 zones face up, so available to be used, and 5 that are destroyed. So we ended up with 2, 5, and 10 through 12 destroyed. So we've got zones, so it's numbered from 1 to 12, starting from 1 to 12, going left to right. So zone 1 is where everybody's starting at the White House. So as you might see, each of the zones has 4 spaces on it. And on the cards for the face-up zones, we've got different effects. So depending on which actual space of a zone we go to, we can get a different effect. So the White House is up first. We can activate this and put our activation token on here to look at the top card of the Dominus deck, whichever one's active. We'll tip the camera up here after I go through these locations. If we go to the upper left corner, that draws us an intel card. This one draws us a weapon, gear, or intel. And we can use this one to place a block token adjacent to any unit, which means I believe that it doesn't activate. Let me double check that. That's not one I use very often, but I probably should keep an eye on. I probably should try to use that a little bit more. Where are the token? Place a block. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the block token means that the unit won't activate. Here we go. Doesn't attack during the Dominus phase. Okay. And then this last one lets me reveal all units in a single zone. So I can use that if I need to. I might want to use that if I want to try to pick off an agent or pick off a unit potentially. Then we've got the underground tunnel, which we can activate to immediately resolve a free move action. And if we move to a new zone, we may immediately resolve that zone power. The only icon appears in the upper right corner, and that one lets us destroy any revealed unit. So if we get something particularly dangerous, we can just go deal with it right away. Then zone 4, we've got the space station where we can activate it once again to look at the top card of the Dominus deck. This icon will let us draw a weapon. Zone 5 was destroyed. Zone 6 has the underground garage. We can activate this to have all units at this location lose 1 defense during this turn. Okay. The upper left icon lets us, I believe, automatically complete a mission. Yes. Automatically complete an active mission and then another target to let us destroy a revealed unit in the lower left. Then we've got Zone 7, the War Room, which we can activate to destroy any one soldier anywhere on the board. Upper right to draw a gear, lower right to draw a weapon. Then we've got the Black Market. which we can activate to give another player and receive from that player either intel, gear, or weapon. Upper left lets us draw an intel, upper right lets us draw a gear, and lower right lets us draw a weapon. Then last we've got the subway. We can activate this to resolve immediately the location ability of any empty location on a zone at range 2 from you. Once again, that's being counted orthogonally, so we can activate up to zone 3 or zone 7 from the subway. Upper left lets us reveal a unit. Upper right lets us draw a weapon. Lower right lets us destroy an enemy for free. A revealed enemy. So we'll tip up to the board, and up there we can see we've got 2 decks. Actually, we've basically got two decks, an array of cards, and a metal dawn track. So I'll explain each of those. That deck over there is the Satellite Dominus deck. So while Dominus is in space, and we've actually got 2 different representations of Dominus, so we'll be starting off with this Satellite of Dominus to potentially end up with Dominus coming down to Earth for the final fight. So as long as Dominus is in space, we'll be drawing cards from the Satellite Dominus deck, and in fact we'll have to draw 2 of those as part of final setup. Then we've got the Robot Dominus deck, so once it's down, that's the deck we'll be drawing from. The codes are what we need to hack Dominus, so we need to play intel cards that meet or exceed that code value. And we'll also deal with potentially bad effects from those. But if we're able to hack a Dominus code successfully, then we can draw 2 cards from the Dominus deck, so that when it comes down, we can control its moves, because it'll start from the cards that we put out here. So we'll draw 2 from the deck, and then we will put one on the card we hacked and 1 on the bottom. I won't reveal those until we get to them. There are 2 ways we lose the game. The first way is if we need to draw one of our replacements and we can't because we're out of replacements. The second way relates to the Metal Dawn track. So so we're starting off at level 1. We'll advance every turn, and we've also got nasty effects up here. So if we ever get to level 10 on that Metal Dawn track, we just lose the game. So obviously we don't want that to happen, nor do we want to have to run out of replacements. Excuse me. As you can probably guess, I'm still kind of in the final stages of my cold, but I'm mostly over it, where the voice isn't really interfering with anything anymore. So let's go ahead and finish final setup. So we need to draw, so we'll actually tip the camera back down. We need to draw, I believe it's 2 cards, place missions, and then for the second card we'll move Dominus to that zone. So first up, in zone 6 we place 2 drone units. So let me talk about the units. I'll talk about the units as I'm spawning them. So we do need to leave the value options, or the health options, hidden for now. We'll find out what the values actually are when we go to destroy them. So we do need to be somewhat mindful of that. They'll be hidden under the standee. So zone 6 gets 2 drones. So we get that. And then for our last card, zone 8, which gets a mission. We spawn 2 drones and a soldier. So I didn't mention the potential health values. The drones will always have a health value of 1, but there might be hidden abilities with them as well. And then they'll do 1 damage when they attack in the Dominus phase. The soldier units will also do 1 damage, but they have a potential of 2 to 3 defense. So we'll spawn them here and here. Then we draw 1 more card on the last Dominus card. So place the Dominus standee in the red outlined Dominus space of the last current zone. So we place Dominus here at zone 8 because that was the last one. Then we have mission. Then we get a mission token there. I don't know how that would that automatically fail the mission? That I want to look at, because if that would automatically fail the mission... I know it fails later in the game, but I don't know if it fails at the start. Represent important missions, can be failed by Dominus, and when they are, they have negative effects. Yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion that they do fail during setup, but I'm going to go look up a ruling on that once I come back. I think with that, we're all ready to get started in the game, so we'll get into... Oh, I do want to mention the other two units that we might have. So we also have cyborg units, which also do only 1 damage, surprisingly. Potentially 2 to 4 defense, and I'll explain more about how damage works during the Dominus phase. Then we've got the exterminators as well. They can have between 3 and 5 defense. They do 2 damage when they attack, so that's something dangerous to look at. Like I said, I'm going to go look up a ruling on the mission token during setup if Dominus moves into it. Once I get that ruling for sure, we'll be ready to start the game, so we'll just jump right in. For now, I'm going to rule that no, Dominus doesn't automatically fail the mission at the start of the game, but I'm going to put the cap for my camera there just so I remember that, okay, I might need to change that out. So I'm going to be kind of floating back and forth, trying to keep an eye on BGG to get an official ruling. I'll probably also put an editing note up, probably on the screen in this point of the video, once I get an official ruling. But before I get started, I do want to talk about a house rule that I'm going to play with. As in my test playthroughs, this rule is having this in effect... Not having this in effect has actually killed me on several occasions. So, there are ways other than during the Dominus phase when you spawn enemies to get enemies out on the board. So the house rule I'm going to play with is that if anything spawns during the Dominus phase while you're attacking, while you're going through attacks, then nothing spawns. Well, not that nothing spawns, they don't attack. Because that's one of the ways that this game likes to cascade to you just lose. And I don't like that at all. So, with that, let's go ahead and jump in. Given that we've got a couple drones over here at the underground garage, I think we're going to give that to Raven to try to pick off. So, actually, all units at this location lose a defense during the turn. At this location, lose 1 defense during this turn. Do I want to use a pistol, or do I want to use an activation to get that? I think I might use an activation and save the pistol. So I'll send Raven down to the underground bridge, or the underground garage, I should say. I'll put her here, and then I'll activate the location so I can take out both of these drones. They'll only have 1 health, so they lose 1 defense, but let's check. Actually, that's probably not how that's supposed to work. So actually what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go over to... I'm actually going to come down here to the subway, where I will use the... I'm not going to activate the location, but I will use the special power on there. So I'll reveal all three enemies at the black market. So the soldier has 2 units, and I'm going to ignore that icon. It was from a mechanic that got cut in the game. Then this drone has 1 health and nothing special with it. Then this soldier has 3 health, so we're going to need something special to take that out. Then we'll have Raven use a use of her machine pistol to take out both of the drones at the underground garage. So we'll look over here, and we'll find that this drone has just 1 health, nothing special, so that can get taken out. Then the other drone at the location has 1 health, and we get to draw a skill. So that means we get to draw a mission card and add its skill to Raven. So we'll find. That she's a black marketeer, and this is really hard to read. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Discard an intel card to draw a number of weapon cards equal to the intel value of the discarded card. Choose one to keep and discard the rest. So we don't have any intel cards yet to use that with. So that's really not going to do much for us, but that will do it for Raven. For our next turn, we'll go to... let's go to Morgan, actually. We'll move her into the black market. I'm not going to use the ability to draw a weapon card, but I will use her special ability. Once per turn, you may automatically destroy a revealed unit as you enter the zone. I'll take out this soldier with 3 health. So we can get that off the board for action 1. Then for action 2, I'm going to leave the mission there and not accept it because I'm not completely sure if I'm supposed to fail that right away. But anyway, action 2, I think will be... I don't really want to use a charge of her rifle, but I think I'm going to have to take out this soldier so I don't do so much damage during the... So I don't do much damage during the Dominus phase. And I could potentially just take out that drone right now as well, and I think I will. The only question is, how do I want to do that? Actually, I think I know how I'm going to do that. So I'll tip Morgan down. I'll put Dominus up here so we can see all of our units and everything going on here. Let me zoom back out, because I'll bring Kay down to the war room. I could have used the activation to destroy a soldier anywhere on the board, but I'll use her 9mm pistol. I'll use a charge of that to take out the drone here, so we can get that off the board. And then since I'm using the 9mm pistol, I can immediately resolve a free movement action to that unit's space. So I'll move over to the black market, which will draw me an intel card. So remember, these intel cards are what I need to take out, or what I need to try to hack Dominus. So our first intel card is a 1. That's not very good. We'll probably end up using it for its effect to destroy any unit in your zone. And then that leaves Svetlana with nothing to do right now. So I think for the time being, she'll just... Ooh, felt that. Cracked my knuckles there. She's actually just going to move 1 over to the star space on the White House, which will let her draw a weapon, gear, or intel card. We'll give her an intel card, so she will draw a 2, which isn't much better, but we can discard this card to destroy all units in your current zone with a defensive value of 2 or higher. So that might be moderately useful. And then for... Actually, we'll tip Kay down so that she's gone. Action 2, we don't have that much useful. Maybe just ping back over to the White House. Do I have to move to a new location, or can I just cycle like that? To any unoccupied location on any unoccupied location of any zone. So we'll draw another intel card. So Svetlana will draw a 5. This is more useful. Discard this card to gain 2 extra action slots this round. Alright, so that's both of Svetlana's actions, which means all of our ladies will stand up. We would attack... Actually, we go through the Dominus phase, so we'll advance Metal Dawn by 1. Right, that's the first part of the Dominus phase, so we'll advance by... We'll advance by 1. Actually, yeah, we advance by 1 just because, which passes our first marker to do very dangerous things on the board. And I've got my... I thought I had a chart right here. Not what I'm looking for. Ah, here we go. Our first firewall is what it's called. So our first firewall is number 6, which All players must discard a gear card equipped or in hand, or have an agent take 2 damage. I think we'll have... I think for the medical team, I like the rucksack, so I'll have Svetlana take 2 damage. As I mentioned... here, I'm going to put damage on my agents as I take it. So Svetlana will take 2 damage. We'll put that there. And then Kay will discard the holographic map for the Black Ops team, since I don't mind not having the movement part. We may have to draw some extra gear for her. Then we would have agents attack, except we took out all of the agents on the board. So now Dominus activates, which means we draw two cards and do what they tell us to do. So here we'll draw. Zone 4 gets a drone and 2 cyborgs, so no special instructions on this card. Also no mission icon. So what is that? A drone and 2 cyborgs. Hey, something for Svetlana to go kill. And then for our second card, Zone 4, oh joy, gets a mission as well. The drone, and I think once a zone is full, we move to the next zone, I believe. Let me just double check that. I think there should be a thing for overflow. Zone inundation. If at least one overflowing unit can't be placed due to the lack of unoccupied spaces on adjacent zones. So actually we do spawn on orthogonally adjacent zones. So we spawn a cyborg and an exterminator. So we got the cyborg and the exterminator. So we've got those. We'll spawn those at the White House with Svetlana, who's probably going monster hunting. We get a mission out, except Dominus is going to move immediately to it, which will automatically fail the mission. So that means we draw a mission card and go through... Let me just double check that. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So for the last card you resolve... Dominus... Okay, so discard the token. Okay, so yeah, I didn't bother putting the mission out, so we will automatically fail this mission, which means we'll resolve the fail, advance Metal Dawn by 1. So we advance up to level 3 on the Metal Dawn track. Alright, so a somewhat uneventful round, aside from getting some new enemies out. But now at least Svetlana has something to do, so we'll go ahead and start round 2, probably off with her. Svetlana's turn is going to be very simple. She's going to attack both the cyborg and the exterminator in the space. She's going to attack the cyborg first, and we'll see what it's got for special effects. Her weapon is doing 4 damage because of her special ability, so we're using 2 shots from the assault rifle. So the cyborg first. 3 damage, and she draws an intel card. So the intel she gets is another 2. So it's the same thing we had earlier. Then she'll destroy the exterminator, unless we find something that's got a surprise 5 health, which is possible, but I'm hoping not. So Svetlana has 4 damage right now. 4 health, and the shield there means we wouldn't be able to target anything else while it's there, but since we're taking it out, the shield doesn't really do anything, so that's all handled there. Svetlana's turn is now over. Let's see, what do we want to do here? I think we'll probably have Raven go ahead and try to hack Dominus. So I'm going to move her into this space, this lower right space of the White House, and I'll use the block to prevent one of these cyborgs from activating during the Dominus phase. And then we are going to try to hack Dominus, so we'll try to hack the first code, and we'll lead with our 5 to do it. So the way hacking works is you lead with an intel card. In this case, we're using our 5. We'll reveal a code card. Then we have to play intel cards until we meet or exceed that value. So we'll go for the first code. Our first code here is a 5, so we beat this. After revealing this code, discard 1 additional intel card or automatically fail the hack. If the hack automatically fails, which it doesn't, draw a Dominus card only to move him to a new active Dominus zone. Disregard the rest of the card. So we do have to discard one of our 2s, which is unfortunate, but there's no help for that. But we do hack Dominus. We do hack the first code. So that will give me the first 2 cards. That'll give me 2 cards off the Robot Dominus deck, and I can put 1 out and put 1 back. So on the Robot Dominus cards, first up we find 2 damage and moving probably to, let me look at the Robot Dominus card. Number of directions and the direction and number of zones Robot Dominus moves. So it moves 1 zone to the right. After resolving Dominus movement, spawn a drone unit in the active Dominus zone. That's our first card. Our second card. 4 damage, moving 1 down, no special abilities. Ouch. I don't like the 4 damage too much, so I'm going to put that on the bottom. And we'll leave the 2 damage, moving 1 to the right, and drone unit in the Dominus zone. We'll leave that on top. So Raven's done as well. Now for the ladies, I think we'll have Kay go next. She'll move to the war room and draw. She'll draw a fresh gear card because we had to discard hers to our first firewall earlier. So Kay will draw. Light Strike Vehicle. Once per turn, you can spend 1 use to either resolve a free attack action at +2 damage or activate the special ability of a location in your current zone. Which there's nothing really interesting there right now. But what I think I'll do is I think I will discard I'll use a shot from her 9mm pistol to pick off one of the drones. I want to try to get some help in there if I can to intercept some of the damage from the space station. So we'll take out this drone and we'll slide it to reveal 1 damage and nothing special. So the drone has been defeated, and then we can move into. After destroying a unit, you may immediately resolve a free movement to that unit's location. So we'll move up to the space station with Kay. Then that will do it for her. Morgan will move over to this empty space of the war room. And then she'll use a charge from her assault rifle, doing 4 damage. We'll take out this cyborg. So this one has 2 health. So we just destroy the cyborg. Alright, so that is it for our round 2. Now we go through the Dominus phase. So we advance 1. So we actually will stand everybody else up. Alright, so we'll advance once toward Metal Dawn, which will advance me past another firewall. So our firewall this time is number 1, which I'll show you. This is the chart I'm looking at. Drones replicate. For each drone unit on the game board, add 1 new drone unit to that drone's zone. The only one that gets a drone is zone 4. So we'll put this one out. Per my house rule, this drone won't attack during the Dominus phase. Because that's what I was talking about with where this game where sometimes you can end up cascading into effects of you just lose. So now we go through attacks. The only one we've got a drone in zone 4, which I will have Kay intercept that attack. Because I want to keep my Metal Dawn track somewhat low. Alright, so that's our only other unit, which means now we spawn more enemies, we find. So first up, Zone 1 gets a mission. Then we have we'll place a mission there. Then we'll spawn a drone, a cyborg, and an exterminator. So we'll get the mission first. Then we'll spawn a drone, a cyborg, and the exterminator. Where is it trying to go? I gotta double check at least one overflowing unit can't be placed due to lack of unoccupied spaces on adjacent zones, and we're trying to go to open spaces. So the exterminator would try to go here, but that zone's full. So the only adjacent zone is the space station, but we can't spawn there either. So we advance Metal Dawn again by 1, which goes there. And then our second Dominus card, Zone 8. Spawn according to special instructions below. Add drone incursion. Add a drone unit to every zone without drones. So that's got a drone. That gets a drone. This gets a drone. This gets a drone. This gets a drone. And this gets a drone. You've got to be kidding me. So we're on 1 drone incursion, and we've already got a disaster on our hands. Right. So we're into round 3, and we've got quite a mess on our hands. So let's see what we can do with this. Okay, so this block token actually should have come off at end of round. My focus this turn looks like it's going to need to be looks like it's going to need to be destroying enemies and intercepting as many attacks as I can. So I think I'll have Raven lead it off this round. So I'll discard the machine pistol. I'll use the last bullet on it. So that's gone. We're doing 1 damage to each enemy in the target zone. So we're going to target the space station because I want to take these drones out if I can. So this first drone, come on. Just 1 damage, so that one's gone. And then this drone is also going to get blown up most likely. 1 damage, and it will blow. I'm just double checking. Deals 1 damage to agents in the zone. So Kay's in the zone, which means she'll take 1 damage. No help for that at this point, because we just have too many drones on the board right now. So I really don't want to have that many drones on the board. So now if I want Raven to move and intercept an attack, I think I'll move her to preferably somewhere I can draw a weapon. So I'll actually move her down to the upper right corner of the subway, which is where I'll draw a weapon from. Don't need the mission there anymore. No, okay, I know what happened there. Wait a minute. Drone incursion. She actually should have moved to zone 8. Which means this should be in... How did he move to zone 1? Probably because I'm a derp and I moved him... Oh no! That's how. The last Dominus card was zone 1. So this mission would be failed immediately, but I should have also placed a mission token in every space, in every zone adjacent to the active Dominus zone not already containing a mission token. So it would go there, but the mission would have failed. Mission 1 would have failed. So our fail here... Oop, that's an intel card. Wow. Okay, let's draw from the right deck, Phoenix Knight. Let's give the intel a quick shuffle. Now that we're actually drawing from the right deck, Fail here. Each agent discards their equipped gear card. Delightful. Oh, that's actually a problem. Because that means I lose 3 rucksacks and my light strike vehicle. That really hurts. Gear is all gone. But we are drawing a weapon with Raven, so she will draw. A light machine gun. Range 2, 4 damage. Instead of resolving a normal attack action, this attack deals 3 damage to each of up to 2 different units in the target zone. And it's got 2 uses, as you can see from what's on top of the card, so that will be very handy. Let's see, that's it for Raven. Now for the rest of our agents, I think Svetlana can attack both. Actually, no, she can't. She will attack. She'll use her assault rifle to attack the cyborg in her space. But we definitely need to intercept attacks here. So the cyborg will find 3 health, and she gets to draw an intel card. So that cyborg's gone, and we get a fresh intel. We find a 4. You discard this card to draw either the top weapon card or the top gear card from the discard pile. Let's see. Then I will move to... Everything's doing 1 damage right now. What zone are we... Actually, we can't intercept 3 of them. So we're going to fly up the Metal Dawn track this turn. Is that a free action to dump? I know there's an action where you can dump intel cards as a group to retreat Metal Dawn by 1. Anytime during the game during an agent phase, may discard 1 card per 2 agents in play to retreat Metal Dawn by 1. So we have to reach... So basically, it looks to be 1 intel card per player. So we'd have to dump 2 intel cards to retreat Metal Dawn by 1. We're going up at least 3 this turn, unless... We're going up at least 3 this turn. Unless I have both Morgan and Kay commit to attacking, and I might have to. Yeah, we're already at level 5, and we've got at least 3 we can't stop. So I think we are going to have to discard... destroy all units with... Now that we've got singles here, I'm not feeling great right now. So, okay, Svetlana... Oh, I haven't decided what I'm doing for Svetlana's second action yet. Do we just... I want to try to get her a weapon if I can. I think we're actually going to move to the lower right corner of the White House, and we'll block an agent, and we'll block this drone up here from attacking. So that'll end Svetlana's turn. Now for the other 2. Kay will move... Well, we're going to be replacing a weapon here shortly. So, actually, action 1, I'll use her last ammo on her 9mm pistol to take out this drone. Mostly so I can resolve a move into it. Just 1 damage. So I'll move into the weapon location and I'll have Kay draw a weapon. So she will draw a grenade launcher pistol. Range of 2, 3 damage. Instead of resolving a normal attack action, this attack deals 3 damage to all units and agents in the target zone. And it's only got 1 use on it. Let's see, then for action 2, I've got to move her somewhere where I can intercept. I'm actually going to move her to the black market. We're going to be busy on this one, so Here I'll actually draw a fresh gear first, so K will draw. C4. Spend 1 use to destroy all units in your current zone. So if we get overloaded, we can use that to pick them off. Then we'll activate this mission. So we'll actually get to look at a mission card for something other than the fail. So our mission here... Hack one of the Dominus code cards. If we fail, we advance Metal Dawn by 1. Success, we can either discard this card to retreat Metal Dawn by 1, or we gain Spycraft. You can have an additional active mission card. These cards are terrible to read. All right, so that's our current active mission. Then we'll activate the zone. I wasn't going to take that mission because I wasn't sure if I was supposed to fail it or not. So, never mind that. I'm actually going to put that back on the bottom of the deck. That's what that was there for. That's right. I remember now. But I will activate the zone. I'll take the 4 from the medical team because we'll have to use that probably to hack Dominus once we get the board somewhat under control. So that's it for K. Now we've got our last... we've got Morgan left to go, and there's not really much she's doing right now. Okay, so we blocked the drone off. I think we can intercept everything except for 1, so we're in a much better place than we were at the start of the round. So I'll use the last ammo of her assault rifle to attack the cyborg up in zone 4. So that will go to the discard pile. We'll be doing 3 damage with that. We need to make sure there's enough damage there to take it out. That's a 2, so the cyborg is destroyed. Then we'll actually move Morgan up, and she'll draw a weapon card along with taking the mission there. So we actually do get a legit mission for Morgan. We'll draw the weapon first, so Morgan draws. A concealed snub 38. It's got 3 uses, range of 1, 2 damage. After destroying a unit, you may immediately resolve a free movement action to that unit's location. Did they not have anybody proofreading and QCing these cards? Good grief. Then we do get a mission from Morgan. She will find. Break encryption. Mission, end your movement in zone 1. Fail, we advance the Metal Dawn token by 1. Success, we can either discard this card to retreat Metal Dawn by 1, or Cryptology. When you draw intel cards, draw 1 additional card, choose 1 to keep, and discard the rest. Right, so that does it for the agent phase. We'll stand everybody back up. And then starting the Dominus phase, we have a drone in zone 1. Svetlana will intercept that attack, which will bring her up to 3 health. Dangerous place to be. This drone is blocked from attacking, so it doesn't do anything. Zone 6, the drone here isn't intercepted, so it attacks, advancing Metal Dawn by 1. Then we've got the drone here in space 8, which K will intercept, but I need to keep an eye on her health. And then we've got the drone down here in zone 9. Raven will intercept that as well. Alright, so that's all done, and now we get 2 Dominus cards. Here we find... First up, Zone 3 gets a mission. We spawn 2 drones and 2 soldiers with drone replicate. For each drone on the board, add a new drone to the replicating drone's zone. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, so we put the mission on Zone 3. Then we add a drone. Actually, we add drone. Oh, wait, we spawn first. So, spawn the enemies first. So we shouldn't have those drones out yet. Zone 3, we'll get 2 more drones. And 2 soldiers. 1, and then overflow will bring us to zone 6. Now we'll try to replicate, and I think that is... I believe it's sensitive to the... Each unit to be spawned. Yep, okay. So... Alright, so now we replicate. So now we spawn... For each drone unit on the game board, add a new drone unit. You've got to be kidding me. So drone... If I'm reading this correctly... If I'm reading this correctly, then... We're going to spawn a bunch of stuff here and probably just lose the game. So drone there. Another drone would try to replicate there, but it goes here instead. Let's see. So if we're out of... So now if we're out of units, now we spawn the next level up. Delightful. Okay, so next up we'd be spawning soldiers instead. So we spawned replicating this guy, but we've got to replicate these two as well. So soldier, soldier. So, wait a minute. Wait. If I'm reading this correctly, and there's far from a guarantee that I am, we're just going to lose the game right here. Let's see. So I'm actually spawning wrong. I'm supposed to be spawning clockwise. I've been spawning 1, 2, 3, 4. Either way, though. Yeah, I have a feeling it's not supposed to be... I think it's telling me to spawn... Actually, it's telling me to add a new unit. I don't think it's a spawn, though. So these two soldier units might not need to be out on the board. But I'm definitely out of drones at this point. So, our second Dominus card takes us to Zone 9, where we spawn 2 soldiers, no special instructions. So 3, 4. And then Dominus moves to Zone 9. Raven doesn't have a mission, so she doesn't fail, but we are in very deep trouble here. Because we just got a whole bunch of agents and there's no possible way we can intercept everything. So, we are in very bad trouble here. Well, we might as well give it a go. But like I said, we're in huge trouble. Unless... Okay, so that comes back. So we're into round 4 now, and I need to figure out how, or indeed, if at all, I'm getting out of this mess. First up, Raven's going to use an ammo from the light machine gun, and she's going to aim from the subway at the underground tunnel. That block token should have come off, by the way. So Raven is doing 3 damage to each of up to 2 different units in the target zone. So we're going to target the soldier and just whichever one of the drones. So the soldier has 2 health in that icon that we're ignoring, so that gets destroyed. Then the drone has 1 unit and it would blow up. So there's nobody there, which means the drone doesn't blow up. Then she's going to discard the light machine gun to hit her location. So we're going to hit the subway. We're going to aim at the 2 soldiers here. So the light machine gun is gone. The soldier here has 2 damage, and we get to draw a gear card from that. So we'll draw the gear first. We can hold one card. Actually, she needs fresh gear anyway, so we'll draw a smoke grenade. Spend 1 use to cancel for the remainder of the turn all damage dealt to your agent from all units in your current zone. Which isn't going to really matter because we're only going to have a drone left, and I think we're probably still just losing the game, but we'll aim at this other soldier, and here we find 3 damage, so it's also 3 health, so it's also defeated. Alright, that means Raven's all done. Let's see, what do we want to do next? Svetlana desperately needs a weapon. Morgan, actually we'll have Morgan go next. So Morgan will use a shot from her 38 to attack one of the drones in the White House. So doing 2 damage from a range of 1. So we'll attack this drone because I want to try to draw... What do I want to draw here? I don't know what I actually want to draw right now. I'm going to be near my hand. I'm near my hand limit on intel, but I do need to end my movement in zone 1. So this drone has 1 and blows up. So Svetlana's going to take another 1 damage since she's in zone 1. And then after we destroy a unit, you may immediately resolve free movement to that unit's location. So we'll go ahead and move in. I will draw a gear card because I'm planning on using that pistol again. So Morgan will draw Wave Oscillator, 2 uses. Use intel from any zone to affect any zone. And then we did enter movement in space 1, so the mission's successful. And I need to retreat Metal Dawn. Not that I think it's really going to end up mattering, but we'll see if that... We'll see what we can do with that. Then she's going to use another shot from her pistol to hit another drone. So we'll hit this drone with 1 damage, and she gets to draw a skill. So that means we draw a mission card and give her the skill for it. So we will draw Counterstrike. Once per turn, after suffering damage from a unit, destroy that unit. That will actually be very handy coming up in this next phase, coming up in this next Dominus phase. So that's it for Morgan. We have Kay and Svetlana left to go. So I think we'll move Kay to the... We'll move Kay to the subway. And then resolve immediately the location ability of any empty location on a zone 2 spaces away from you. So we will activate that to draw another intel card. So Kay will draw. Actually, this is actually really dumb because I just realized... Okay, so Kay was here. If I do that, then we're going to lose the game. I mean, we might still lose the game anyway, but... Right. Actually, I'm going to move Kay up here, and I'll have her pick up the mission. So our mission this time with Kay is to end your turn in a zone with another agent. Fail, we advance the Metal Dawn token by 1. Succeed to either discard to retreat by 1 or for Smuggler. Every time you would discard either a weapon or a gear card, you may give that card to another player instead. That player adds it to their hand. So we do want to end in a space with another agent. But I'm going to use the grenade launcher pistol to attack the underground garage. So everything takes 3 damage there. Any agents would as well, but we have nobody there. So the soldier... 3 damage, and we draw a gear card, which won't be that useful for Kay. But she will draw. Actually, we can keep it in hand. Power armor for 4, with 4 uses. Spend 1 use to gain +1 range and +1 damage to all of your attack actions for this turn. So that's in the Black Ops team's hand. And then the drone... just has 1 health, so nothing there. Alright, then that's it for Kay's turn. Now for Svetlana. I'm going to move her to the space station and draw her a new weapon card, because I really need to do that. So for her weapon, she'll draw incendiary grenades. Range 1, 3 damage. This attack targets all units and agents in the same target zone. Okay, and it's only got 2 uses. It's got 2 uses on it, but she's doing 4 damage with it. Then do I just pass her action, or do I dump... I think we're actually fine here. Where I could conceivably dump her in... No, I don't really need to dump her intel. Do I just go to the war room and... Actually, I think I'll go to the black market. No. I would hit another firewall if I do that, and I'm probably not going to be able to intercept all of these attacks. So I think we just forfeit her second action, because there's not really much we can do. I don't want to risk an intel card of 2 on a failure, on a failed hack. So we'll just forfeit her second action, which means everybody will stand back up. Then we'll go into the Dominus phase, where we'll advance Metal Dawn. The drone in Zone 1 will attack, but Morgan will intercept that, so she'll take her first damage. Then the underground tunnel, we're in a bad spot. Kay can intercept 1 of those, but then she has to let an attack go through, so we hit another firewall, which means our firewall this time is number 3. Don't tell me that's more with drones. For each drone unit on the board, add 1 new drone unit to that drone's zone. Delightful. So this is one time where the house rule is actually going to save me, because I would not be able to... since we're out of drones, I think we add... Since we're out of drones now, I think we do add soldiers. So for each drone... What was that again? For each drone on the board, so we're adding new soldiers. So soldier, and now that we're out of soldiers, we spawn cyborgs. Cyborg. So that was up here, which means anything that spawned, so these cyborgs, all 3 of the cyborgs that just spawned don't attack. Then the drone, we have to intercept the attack with Svetlana, so she's at 5 health. Then we come down to Zone 9. Raven will intercept that attack, going up to 2 health. So we need 2 cards from the Dominus deck. First card up. Zone 6 gets an exterminator. No special instructions there. And the second zone. Zone 3 gets 2 exterminators, except they both go to Zone 6 because it's the adjacent zone. Dominus moves up to the underground tunnel and K's mission automatically fails. So we advance Metalldon by 1, which means we're up to 8. Now we're in a very bad spot. So now I need to figure out how on earth we're going to get out of this, but I don't think we are, but I need to change the battery before we start into that. We're going to pretend like I'm going to make any kind of headway with this, but honestly, I think the game's just over at this point. So, I will have Kay spend a use of her C4, which doesn't look like it's an action, to destroy everything in her zone. So we'll take out 2 drones and a soldier. Our first drone has just 1 health on it. Second drone, 1 health, also welcome. And the soldier, 2 health, so everything's gone there. Now that's technically not an action. I should have been paying a lot more attention to that, but... First action, we're going to move down to the black market and draw a fresh weapon card for her. So the weapon we're going to draw here is a taser launcher. Range of... She's got to be in the same zone, doing 2 damage, but when she resolves an attack action against a cyborg unit, you gain +1 damage, and yes, they misspelled against here. This company's QC was actually, honestly, pretty bad. Let's see, then for action 2... I'm going to go up to the White House, and we're going to block a unit. So we're going to block the... I'm planning on blowing those exterminators sky high. There's probably no point to blocking them. I'll block the... What's the zone that's probably going to survive? Probably the... I think probably the... Actually, a better question is what zone's going to end up being unguarded when this is all said and done. I have a feeling... I think that drone's probably going to be left, because I'm going to try to see if I can pick... Oh, that's a cyborg. Never mind. Alright, so that's it for Kay's turn. Who do I want to go next? I think I will have... I guess I'll have Svetlana go next. So we'll move her up to the... where do I want to move her? Oh, this is so bad. We'll move her, I guess, up to the underground tunnel. I'm going to have to plan on bringing her right back to the space station so she can guard it, except I don't think I can, actually. Right. Unless I bring somebody else down to guard the space station, and I might have to. We'll spend a use of our incendiary grenades to aim at the underground garage. So doing 4 damage, which means we'll take out the cyborg. 3 damage, and all other units in the same zone deal +1 damage. So if we're not able to take out all 3 of these exterminators, and I think we are, the game's going to be over no matter what. 4 damage and we draw a new weapon. That'll be very handy. This exterminator. 2 health. And this one is a 3. So we do get to draw a new weapon from the first exterminator that we picked up. So this will go into the med team's hand, so they will find a military pistol, range of 1, 2 damage. Don't spend a use to resolve this attack action if the target's defense value is 2 or lower. Alright, so that's in hand for them. The underground garage is all clear now. What's Morgan doing? I think Morgan is going to... Morgan's going to use her last pistol, her last charge from her concealed snub 38 to try to deal 2 damage to this cyborg. And we have to destroy the unit to move into that zone. So this cyborg, we're doing 2 damage, and it's got 2 health, so that works out for us. Then we'll move into the weapon zone of the space station, and we'll draw a new weapon. So we will draw frag grenades, range of 1, 3 damage. Instead of resolving a normal attack action, this attack deals 2 damage to all units and agents in the target zone. Alright, so that will go into the Black Ops team's hand. Then we're going to move her to the... Actually, no, that's a new weapon for her, so never mind that. Then we'll move to the war room, which will draw another weapon that'll go into the Black Ops team's hand. So the weapon they draw here is an automatic machine gun, range of 1, 3 damage, but instead of resolving a normal attack action, this attack deals 1 damage to all units in the target zone. We'll activate the zone to take out the soldier at the White House. And then that's it for Morgan, which means we have Raven left to go. Great. We'll move her to the... Actually, they have a weapon in hand, don't they? I'll equip Raven with the military pistol that we drew earlier. Yeah, I forgot we had that in hand. So action 1, Raven will use the pistol on the cyborg first. Remember, we don't use a use if the target's defense is 2 or low, but we are only doing 2 damage. Which, that's 3 health, and everything gets plus 1 damage, so that's a problem. So we do spend a use for that. Then Raven will take out the drone here, which will only have 1 health. And we get to draw a skill for Raven. So is there a limit to skills she can have? I don't think so. Until the agent is defeated. Alright, so we draw a skill. Transporter. At the beginning of your turn, you may either move a unit in an adjacent zone to your zone, or a unit in your zone to an adjacent zone. So we've got a couple of skills there for Raven. Let's see, that was both of her actions, which means everybody stands up. Alright, Dominus phase. We advance to our last firewall of the game. And then here we draw Firewall 4. Attack of the drones. All zones without a drone unit immediately gain a drone unit if a location is available. Doesn't trigger zone overflow or terror advancement if unable to spawn, so advancing Metal Dawn further. Which means we get all of our drones back. Delightful. So I'll just slide all of these onto standees. We are at Metal Dawn level 9, so we're probably going to need to retreat that and soon. Or else we're just going to lose the game. Alright, so that was just advancing Metal Dawn. We haven't gotten to actual units attacking yet. So what did we say? Everything without a drone gets a drone. So that's everything except zones 1 and 4. So we'll bring these 5 there, 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 and there. Now, rules as written, here would be in a situation where if we let the attacks go, we would just lose the game because there's no way we could block absolutely everything off. So, speaking of blocking, though, we might just be screwed either way. I think we still just lose the game here because these 2 drones were already out, and I can only save 1 agent. So, yeah, I think I'll just have Kay bite it on her attack. I'll have Kay intercept the attack at the White House, but that will advance us to level 10, and we have advanced to level 10. We have not been reaching the Metal Dawn space. Actually, I think we do have 1 more space on there, but actually we can flip the medical unit down to have Kay heal to full. So I don't think we advanced there yet. But Svetlana will... Actually, Svetlana... Ugh, this is terrible. Actually, this... Wait. Okay, so hold on. So this cyborg was on the board, which means that all other units or all units? All other units. Okay, so... Yeah, I think we'll have to have Svetlana bite it here, which will bring us up to level 10. Which means we'll need a replacement, and I think we get that after we need a replacement for the medical team after the Dominus phase is over. So Svetlana's been defeated. She's out of the game at this point. We'll see if we last to continue the story. That drone was blocked, otherwise we would lose. Spawned this round so it doesn't attack. Spawned so it doesn't attack. Spawned so it doesn't attack. This does 1 damage, which I have to have Raven intercept. Otherwise we just lose the game. So we've got... That goes away as well. And then we've got Dominus cards. So first card up. Zone 9 gets a mission. Grab the missions. And then we get 2 drones, a soldier, and an exterminator. So the drone goes here, and the next drone goes up here. Soldier, so we're out of soldiers right now, so we actually spawn a cyborg, which we're going to be out of those now. So that goes here. And an exterminator, which goes here. Then our second Dominus card. Zone 7 getting a mission, but we're immediately going to fail that. So we get a drone and a soldier, except we get a cyborg, but we don't get that instead, so we get an exterminator. We'd get the mission, except Dominus is moving there. So the mission will automatically fail, which means our fail here is advancing the Metal Dawn token by 1. So we have advanced to Metal Dawn, and we have lost the game. So yeah, that's one thing I really don't like about this game, is it likes to cascade and take you from a situation where, okay, this looks tolerable-ish, to, okay, you just lose the game. I really don't like that, and I found that very frustrating in my playthroughs of this game. Barring the rule on how that mission on Space 8 at the start of the game would have worked. But we just couldn't, I just felt like we really couldn't get anything going there, but that was just such a frustrating game. That will do it for this playthrough of Metal Dawn. Now, as you probably guessed, in my first few playthroughs as I've practiced this to get it on the channel, I thought that this game was what I like to call throw through the window bad, and my opinion has not changed at all about this game. It definitely needs some more house rules before I get it to my table again, but I really don't think I'm going to bother with this one again. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this video up. Sunday, we're going to feature the last wargame for the month, which will be the 5th on my list as we play Atlantic Chase. And next week, we're heading back into space as we play Gaia Project. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.